Okay, I got the toilet tank back down here. Now here's my quandary. I could try to tighten this up further. This nut here. But I don't really want to do that. I got a smaller bushing. Here was my rubber gasket from before. Not here, but inside the tank. Remember, there's one inside and there's this one outside. Your toilet might be different than this, but anyways. Went to the store. Tried to find one about the same size as this one. Might be slightly bigger, not very much. And it's a little bit more pliable, I think, than the one that I have on there before. And I think at this point, it just seems to make sense that I go ahead and take this nut off of here. Because here's the other thing. For me to get this nut on tighter, could I do that? Yeah, I probably could, but that other bushing is fatter than this, which means it's less pliable. So it's only hitting a ridge on there when I'm tightening that up. If I tighten this more, could it stop? Yeah, maybe it could, but I only have a pair of channel locks. It's hard to get in there and get that nut, you know. And to try to tighten it, the inside wants to spin, so I need somebody here to help me hold the inside exactly where it needs to go so I can try to tighten this nut. But then to put it back on, if it still leaks again, then I'm back to square one. So since I've got it down this far, I figure I might as well, you know, go ahead and take this nut off and then take a look at that other gasket, and then we'll make a final decision what we're going to do here. Oh man, thought I was done with this project. Here's the part inside the toilet. And this was the rubber gasket that came with my kit. Now this kit could have been for another toilet with a slightly different outlet that was maybe tapered slightly different. And see, this was the small ring that was on here from before. See how much thinner that one is? You can see that. And so, I don't know. There was no way I could tighten that nut anymore. My fear is that if I try to tighten that, even if I could tighten it, it might still leak. I might have needed a special wrench. Look how fat that is. And the fatter it is, the less pliable it is. This one's pretty flexible. And so that's why I think, see, when I went to the store, I got a separate little piece here. This is way more flexible. And so the theory is that when I tighten it down, it's going to suck in further in here and get a better bond than this one here. And that's all I can think of, because like I said, I would need somebody else to hold this exactly where it needs to go in there and to try to tighten this with two hands. And I'm here all by myself, and sometimes you got to do things on your own, you know what I mean? And so I think that's what I'm going to go ahead and decide to do. I'm going to put this smaller one on here. It's not as thick. And this was about the size of the other one that was on there from the beginning. You know, sometimes bigger isn't always better. Alright, I'm going to put that back in and tighten her up. I think I'm getting this nut tighter with that smaller one on there, and I probably could have used that fat one too. I sprayed a little WD-40 on here too, and I've got it so that the nut is tightening without this middle section spinning, because once that was spinning, it was throwing the tree out of whack, you know? And so I'm getting it a little tighter now. Yeah. This way. There we go. Yeah. I think that's going to work. Let's put that bad boy up. Tighten her back down on the toilet bowl. Oh, that's just really grand. I was in such a rush, you know. I knew exactly what I was doing. I forgot to hook up the water to the tank after I got all done, and the valve was off, or the valve was on, and so when I turned the water on outside, it went all over the place. I had it on outside for, 3 seconds before I realized, uh-oh, I better shut it off. It just goes to show, just because you think you know exactly what you're doing, I still want you to think step by step whenever you're dealing with water and stuff, or you're going to have something like this. Now, what would have happened if I came in here and left the water running? It would have been on for 15-20 seconds from the time I turned it on to the time I saw this and ran back and shut it off. And this could be all over. I'm lucky this is a tile floor and all that. So I've got everything shut off, and boy, I got lucky. My loss is your gain again. Or did I just do this on purpose? Either way, make sure your tank's hooked up before you turn the water back on. See? I had this disconnected to get the tank off. Make sure you put that back on before you turn the water back on outside. I had the water off for another reason, and so normally that wouldn't have happened. You just turn this on after you hook that back up, you know. But if you've got your water off outside for any unknown reason, think about it before you start turning water back on. Make sure the toilet's hooked up, or if you're working on a sink and you got the trap disconnected or something like that, you turn the water on, you got the faucet on, you know, be safe. Now here's something else I should have done. I had that water valve on right there, and then I turned the water off for some other stuff, and I remembered I had to do this again too. What I should have done was make sure that valve was off anytime I'm working on the toilet, especially the tank and all. That way, when I get all hooked up, whether or not I got the water on outside or off or whatever, I can control the toilet right from there after I get my repairs done. Just trying to teach you a few things on what not to do. Got this water filling up now. That may take 10-15 minutes before I hear that noise or before I call it good. It's not going to happen, you know, right off. But once this water stops, you should be able to put your ear down there or up and open this up and see if there's any moving water going around or anything like that. Any trickle of water, and listen. And if you hear it just tinkle just a little bit, then you know you're still going to have that. But it's music to your ears when you don't hear it at all. I'm not hearing anything at all. Before I heard just a small trickle. Now the flapper valve is working properly, and see the water, it's right there. It's about oops, I hit that. I hit that valve over there. This is on there properly. The water's an inch below the top of that. I think I'm good. I'm going to flush it one more time just to check. Now that flapper's really working good now. I'm glad I replaced it. I was having a heck of a time with that old one. And let me tell you, anytime you work on a toilet, if you think it's just one thing, if you're going to replace the water fill valve tree, this water fill tank valve, you might want to get a flapper while you're at the store. When's the last time you changed your flapper? It's always good to maintain your toilet as best you can. And that's what I should have done. When I went to the store, when I got the rubber gaskets and all that kind of stuff, I should have got the a flapper ball at that time, a flapper valve, and you know, it costs $3 or $4 at the store. This water fill valve, by the way, is pretty much brand new, so I didn't have to worry about that. But you know, even this white upright, you know, the whole piece that goes down with the threads and all that, I could have replaced that too. Because I was looking at those plastic threads and, you know, they were a little suspect. I did get it tight and everything, but these only cost, I don't know, $8 or $9, maybe less than $10. And so the joys of working on a toilet, let me tell you, you know, it seems like once you touch one thing, something else goes out. But hey, if you can do it yourself, and if you go through these things, and if you find out you got to go back and forth to the store a couple times, you're going to get better. You're going to know exactly what to do on the next toilet. You know what I mean? So just try doing things yourself. Because if a plumber came in here, oh yeah, they probably would have had all the parts on their vehicle. They probably would have had a helper, but you would have paid some bucks to change all this stuff out and fix the toilet, and it might have been something that you could have fixed yourself. You go through all these things, you check other things on my channel, and you know what? You can start saving yourself some money. That goes for just about any how-to project there is. If you don't know how to do it all the way, that's okay. If there's some... Hey, what's up with that? I'm not hearing anything.